5 ways to make success habits permanently ingrained. In this presentation, you will learn 5 surefire ways to make your new success habits permanent. A habit is defined as something you do automatically, and in order to be successful, there are certain habits that you need to develop. But making these a permanent part of your day is a vital part of building towards that success, and these 5 tips can help. 1. Identify your methodology. First, decide whether you are trying to break a bad habit or develop a good one. Each one of these methods will take a slightly different approach, and sometimes swapping one for the other will allow you to make the habit stick better. For example, if you are trying to procrastinate less, you might plan to work an hour longer instead, because that habit is easier to develop. 2. Get motivated. You aren't going to be able to stick with a habit unless there is something motivating you. You should know what is driving your efforts to make a habit stick, and what the long-term results could be if you make a habit ingrained. For example, if you are trying to spend an extra hour a day working on your online business, your motivation might be the financial and personal success you'll have once your business takes off. 3. Make a plan. If you just start trying to develop a habit without some kind of plan in mind, you have a much higher chance of failing. Make sure that you know exactly what you are going to do to develop your habit every step of the way. 4. Track your progress and adjust when necessary. You need to see how you are progressing in your development of a new habit, so that you can stay motivated and know where your problem areas are. Adjust your tactics when something isn't working, rather than plowing on, because that is a surefire way to fail. 5. Daily for 30 days. Remember, you are trying to develop a habit that you will do automatically, and when you reach that sweet spot, that habit will become effortless. But in order to get there, you need to work on the same habit every day for at least 30 days. At first, it will require a great force of will, but you'll eventually do it without it feeling like a hardship. The 4 secret habits of every successful person. When it comes to being successful, certain people do it better than others. But what makes these people different? Is there something unusual about them physically? Do they have a different brain makeup than less successful people do? Actually, no. They just do certain things every single day to work towards that success, and you can do the same. Most people just know the end result, the success. But these are the secret habits that go on behind the scenes that make that success a reality. They make plans for everything. Whether they are trying to create a multi-billion-dollar business or lose 10 pounds, successful people make plans and then follow through on them. While some plans are successful and some fail, these winners learn from their past mistakes, and their future plans are even better than their past ones. They take inspiration from others. Whether it is by attending seminars, reading self-help books, or building relationships with people who have had success of their own, successful people are always on the lookout for more inspiration, more information, or tips to help them become better at whatever they are trying to accomplish. Successful people work regularly to improve, and they use these resources to figure out how to be a little better every single day. They live each day to the fullest. If this were your last day on Earth, and you wanted to be remembered as a successful person, what would you do today to leave that legacy behind? Successful people have this mindset every day, and what they accomplish, or try to accomplish, reflects that. If you want to be successful, then you need to make sure that you are living each day as if it were the only day that you had to achieve the success you have always wanted. If you do that enough days, that success will quickly be yours. They don't care what other people are doing. While successful people take inspiration from other successful people, they use the information that they can without worrying about what someone else is doing. If someone had told Bill Gates that he needed to stop creating an operating system and instead build a computer, because that's what everyone else was doing at the time, he would have gone right ahead and continued to develop his software. Real leaders forge their own path. They don't follow the ones created by others. 6 tips to starting a new habit for success. When you are trying to create success in life, you start with building a habit. These habits for success will eventually lead to the end goal, but before you get to that point, you have to start at the beginning. This is where many people fail, because they don't know what to expect when starting a new habit. These 6 tips will help you get started, so that your chances of building a habit for success are a lot higher. 1. Train one at a time. If this is your first time developing habits, or if you have very little experience at it, you may want to train only one habit at a time. Developing more than one habit, especially if they are unrelated, may end up preventing you from success. 2. Take action daily. Do something every day towards your habit. You may be trying to develop a habit that only happens once a week, but while you are in the learning stage, you need to make sure that you remind yourself every single day. Otherwise, your habit may not stick. 3. Commit to 30 days. If you want to develop a new habit, then it is going to take at least 30 days to make it permanent, and depending upon the habit, sometimes quite a bit longer. Commit to 30 days no matter what, and then you can reevaluate and decide if you want to change things up. 4. Start small. One of the reasons that people fail is that they try to do too much too soon. For example, someone who is really out of shape might set a goal to run 3 miles a day, but their body is only capable of 1/4 of a mile, and they feel like a failure their first day on the job. Set your goals small until you know what you are capable of. 5. Know your triggers. Triggers can be positive or negative. If you know what triggers form bad habits, or what triggers prompt good habits, you will be ahead of the game. 6. Write it down. When you write down your goals, research shows that you are much more likely to take them seriously. Write down the habits that you are trying to set, whether you do it on paper or on your phone, and then review them regularly until they are so deeply ingrained you'll never forget them. The 5 science-based secrets to sticking with new habits. When it comes to creating new habits, you don't have to rely on what some guru says on the daily talk shows. Science has actually done quite a bit of research on developing new habits, and there are science-based approaches that are proven to be successful. Here are 5 secrets to staying with a new habit that are based on actual research and science. 1. Keep it simple. Stick to developing one habit at a time, or if you develop more than one, make sure that your habits reinforce each other. For example, if you want to get in shape, developing new habits in the areas of diet and exercise reinforce each other, while trying to get to the gym every day and spend an extra 2 hours working on your online business may actually conflict. 2. Know why you failed in the past. If you know why your past efforts failed, you will avoid making those same mistakes again. On the other hand, if you blindly plunge forward without evaluating your past efforts, you will probably make the same mistakes without even realizing it. 3. Track your progress. There is a reason why there are so many apps and computer programs for tracking goals. They actually work. Everyone likes to track their progress a little differently, which is why the sheer number of apps exist. So pick the method that works best for you, whether that be electronic or paper, or on a whiteboard on your living room wall, and track your progress daily. 4. Start early. It is difficult to be successful when you wake up at noon, unless you work the night shift, of course, and the earlier you get a start on things, the better off you will be. This doesn't just mean getting up early. It also means getting an early start on projects and not putting things off until the last minute. Always start earlier than you plan to, and you will have the advantage. 5. Engage with other people. Other people can be a big help when it comes to sticking with new habits. Your friends and family can sometimes stand in the way, but they can also offer support and accountability. Obviously, you want to pick the right people, but when you have a support network that cares about your success, you will have a higher chance of achieving it. 8 strategies for overcoming obstacles to success. Obstacles to success exist everywhere. Your friends and family can throw up obstacles. Your circumstances or events in your life can get in the way. Your own brain is one of the great barrier creators in existence. So with all this working against you, how do you overcome obstacles to success? In this guide, you will learn 8 strategies that will allow you to overcome any obstacle that tries to get in your way, and allow you to breeze past them as if they weren't even there. 1. Know they are coming. Your first task is to be aware that there are going to be obstacles. You cannot expect something as difficult as being successful to happen easily, so be aware that there will be challenges. 2. Know your motivation. Know why you are trying to develop successful habits. Have an end result in mind and written down, and imagine how your life will change if you are able to develop these habits. 3. Have confidence in your success. Know that you are capable of success, and don't let your mind trick you into thinking that you will never accomplish your goals. Be confident and believe in yourself and in your chances of success. 4. Live in the real world. It's perfectly realistic to think that you will be able to create a multi-million-dollar business, but it takes time. If you plan to do it in a month and you are starting from square one, you will probably fail. Set realistic goals and you won't be creating new obstacles. 5. Trust your instincts. Many times your subconscious mind knows more than your conscious mind, so trust your first instincts and it will help you overcome obstacles easier. 6. Get a new perspective. When you cannot figure out how to overcome a barrier in your way, sometimes it helps to talk it over with a friend or come up with another way to gain a fresh perspective. 7. Don't try to do everything yourself. When you need help with something, don't be afraid to ask other people for it. No one can do everything themselves, and there is nothing wrong with getting help. 8. Don't ever give up. No matter how many times you fail, keep going. Start again where you left off if you fail. A barrier is only permanent if you don't go again after it stops you. 10 daily reminders to stick with habits for success. When it comes to building new habits for success, your biggest opponent is going to be your own mind. But what if you could prevent your brain from getting in the way of success before those obstacles are even fully formed? That's exactly what these daily reminders will do. If you remind yourself of these things every single day, your brain will have a much harder time. 1. Knowledge is power, and what you do with the knowledge is what makes you powerful. 2. You are as entitled to success as anyone else, and just because you have made past mistakes doesn't mean that you don't deserve the success that you want. 3. You are going to fail. You might as well get used to it. Human beings fail all the time, over and over, but it is what you do after you fail that separates the successful person from the permanent failure. 4. No one can keep you from success except for you. Just because other people try to stand in your way and convince you that you'll never be successful doesn't mean that you have to listen to them. 5. It's your fault. Don't blame other people for your past failures. Even if they were actually at fault, it doesn't do any good. The upside is, when you can take responsibility for your failures, you can also take responsibility for your successes. 6. Stop talking and do something. You can talk all you want about being successful, but until you actually take action, success will never come. 7. Your past mistakes were necessary. Everyone makes mistakes, and it is those very same mistakes that allow you to refine your technique and have success in the future. 8. Do your best and leave it at that. Just because you didn't do as well as you thought you could doesn't mean you failed. If you did your best, then you were successful. 9. Focus on where you are going and not where you have been. Dwell on what will happen in the future and forget about what happened in the past. 10. Push yourself beyond what you thought you could do. If you think you can run a mile, try running a mile and a quarter. If you think you can write 2,000 words a day on your novel, try to push for 2,200 words. The top 5 tips to trick your brain into forming successful habits. You might not know this, but your own mind is your own worst enemy when it comes to forming habits for success. Our brains seem to want us to fail at the exact same time that they want us to succeed. This results in getting in our own way when it comes to forming successful habits. One of the best ways that you can form these habits, in spite of your own efforts to keep you from succeeding, is by tricking your brain. These 5 tips will allow you to fool your mind into letting you be successful. Make it a game. Everyone loves games, and we are having fun when we are playing, no matter if you prefer the sports kind or RPG games like World of Warcraft. If you can make a game out of the habits that you are trying to achieve, complete with points, consequences, and rewards, your chances of those habits becoming permanent is much higher. Break it down into smaller steps. When it comes to making a habit, it can be intimidating if what you are trying to do is a big project. For example, if you are trying to form a habit of working on your online business every day, it can seem like a huge task. Breaking that habit down into small, bite-sized, and manageable tasks will allow you to take each of them one at a time. Pretend like you do it every day. It will take a great deal of time before a new task becomes habitual, but that doesn't mean you can't pretend like it isn't already there. Making your brain think that you have been doing this habit for years may trick your brain into making it a little easier for you to accomplish. Turn on some motivational tunes. Sometimes music can help us get more focused and release endorphins that make us want to work. Accomplishing tasks can seem like drudgery, but with music, they can be much more fun. Prepare by being successful beforehand. Finally, you can often trick your brain into being successful all day if you start the day right. Accomplishing a few small things first thing in the morning may set the tone for the rest of your workday and allow you to accomplish the tasks related to the habit you are trying to form. Six unique methods for overcoming procrastination for success. Have you ever heard the saying, "I'm going to stop procrastinating tomorrow"? This is a truism that everyone can understand because everyone procrastinates. But how do you overcome this human tendency to put things off until tomorrow? There are a lot of methods out there, and some gurus spend their entire lives teaching you how to stop procrastinating. But these 6 unusual techniques will go a long way towards helping you overcome procrastination in your life and getting things accomplished. Technique 1. Give time rewards. Give yourself a break as a reward. Work for 30 minutes and then give yourself a break, or however you want to structure it. Technique 2. Give other rewards. You don't have to just give yourself time rewards either. You can actually motivate yourself pretty well and overcome procrastination by using food, shopping, or fun activities. Technique 3. Use a motivator. If you know someone who you respect and has had success of their own, try to convince them to coach you daily or weekly. You may have more motivation to overcome your procrastination tendencies if you know that you're going to be reporting to them. Technique 4. Look at past progress. On days that you don't feel like doing something, and when you are fighting just to get the smallest tasks done, you can often motivate yourself by looking how far you have come. If you have tracked your progress up to that point, you can look back and be motivated to continue. Technique 5. Set a punishment. If you want to overcome procrastination and your rewards aren't motivating you, then perhaps a punishment reward may help you stay focused instead. Punishment rewards like having to do push-ups, putting money that you were going to spend on something fun into a boring savings account instead, or having something healthy for dinner instead of the pizza that you had your heart set on may give you the motivation that you need. Technique 6. Change your environment. If you are having trouble exercising, dieting, working on an online business, or any other task that you have set for yourself, perhaps your location is the problem. A location where you have had failures in the past may suck out your motivation, and sometimes going to a coffee shop or even another room in the house can help you get more done. The 4 secret things that are keeping you from successful habits. Did you know that there are some things keeping you from success that your mind is hiding from you? People go their whole lives trying to achieve success, never knowing that these things are preventing them from getting there. These 4 things are difficult to realize on your own, but once you know what they are, you can avoid them and get the success you have always wanted. In this presentation, we will present you with each of them, plus some techniques on overcoming them. Secret 1. You unconsciously compare yourself to others. If you are measuring yourself against other people, you may end up disappointed in your own progress. Everyone has different levels of success based upon their current mindset and circumstances. Avoid looking at others and comparing your own progress, because you will either think you are ahead and stop working as hard, or you will think you are behind and get frustrated. Secret 2. You wait for permission. If you are waiting for someone to give you permission to be successful, odds are you are going to be waiting for a very long time. You don't need someone's permission, not from your spouse, your parents, your peers, or your friends. Give yourself permission to succeed. If you want success, you are going to have to be bold enough to get it. Secret 3. You wait for the right time. There is no right time to get started. If you take someone's life from birth to death and go through it with a fine-tooth comb, you are never going to find the right time to start on the path to success. The right time is now, while you have the motivation. Even if you wait for things like your kids to be out of the house, your workload to decrease, or any other circumstances you are currently experiencing, you are still going to have things to deal with. The right time is now. Secret 4. You don't believe you can do it. Finally, you may not have enough confidence in yourself to actually accomplish the tasks you have set out and develop habits for success. You think that you will fail, so in order to avoid that failure, you don't try at all. This is obviously very self-defeating, and you are going to have to find the confidence somewhere so that you will be able to move forward. Nine mind-blowing tips to achieve any habit for success you want. When it comes to building habits, there are a lot of techniques out there, and books, gurus, seminars, and everything you can think of. There are even apps and computer programs designed to help you build the habits you want. But you have probably tried most of them. What you need is something totally different, which is why these 9 mind-blowing and totally unexpected tips to develop habits for success may be just what the doctor ordered. 1. Seek opportunities for success. If you see the chance to work on your habit, seize it, even if you aren't in the normal setting, or it's not the normal time of day for you to work on it. 2. Dress up, even if you work from home. Sometimes, clothes can completely change your state of mind. Even if you work from home, shower, shave, dress like you were at the office, and look successful. 3. Have an action trigger. If you are trying to make an action habitual, the first step is remembering to do it and being motivated. Come up with some triggers to remind you to take action. 4. Mark your calendar. If you want a habit to become part of your daily routine, then make it part of the other important tasks of the day. Mark it on your calendar and make sure you consider it just as vital as the meeting at work or picking up your children from daycare. 5. Make your surroundings positive. If you are working in a dreary room with no windows and plain white walls, you probably aren't going to be able to muster much motivation. Redecorate. 6. Pretend that you are not yourself. Imagine that you are someone else, and you are trying to motivate someone, you, to work. What would you say to them, you? And how would you help them, you, stay on task? 7. Exercise first thing in the morning. Those endorphins can actually have a major impact on your motivation the rest of the day. 8. Try supplements for brain power and energy. Healthy supplements may or may not work, but even if they don't in reality, you might trick your brain into thinking they do. 9. Simplify things. If your task is too complicated, you might find yourself avoiding it instead of trying to complete it. Simplify it as much as possible.